Was in Los Angeles this weekend after talking about the movie Noah on Friday in not such a nice way. The producer of the movie, or the executive vice president of Paramount, called and found out that I was in Los Angeles and asked if I would actually see the movie and judge it on its actual merits. He said the reviewer that we were basing our comments on, he said, was completely wrong, and he very kindly invited us to come to the studios, Paramount Studios, and watch the final print of the movie on Saturday, and we did, because I've actually felt like a little kind of a dirtball, basing my review on something that I hadn't seen on somebody else's review. That's what people do to me. They don't listen, they don't watch, and then they review and say, I'm never going to watch that guy, and it was wrong of me to do. And I want to say this up front. Everybody at Paramount, they were unbelievably gracious, and I would love, as I said to him after the movie, I would love to be able to come and report that the movie is great, but I can't. It is awful. But he's right on one thing. It's not for the reasons that the reviewer said on Friday. It is awful. It is awful for 100 other reasons. Friday, we talked about the review. And in the review, it said that it was a heavy-handed environmental movie, and there was no mention of God. I want to just recap. I was with, and you can see all the pictures at glennbeck.com of us in the screening room and everything else. But I want you to know, I was with people who are religious, not religious, very Christian, very Jewish, whatever. It ran the whole gambit for people who had not even read the story of Noah in the Bible. And I was very interested to get the review from everybody, and it was unanimous. The review made it sound like this was a godless climate change movie, and I believe that it is not a godless climate change movie. It's more like Sinbad the Sailor meets Shining, and Friday the 13th with a sprinkle of Mad Max and in the Thunderdome. And it plays as well as a movie that was just clipping all of that stuff together. Instead of referring to God as God, every reference in the movie, for some reason, is of the creator, which is fine. I don't know why you made that choice, but they're definitely talking about God. Noah doesn't really seem to have a real good relationship with God. He, sees some miracles, I don't know, his whole family being saved, trees in an amazing scene. He plants a seed, and an entire forest grows in the desert while he's standing there. And then he looks into the tent, and he's like, kids, here's the wood for the ark. Really, Mr. Noah, that's what you would say? Really? You wouldn't even go, behold the awesome power of God. You wouldn't go, whoa, that was weird. You're like, kids, get up. We got some wood to cut. Really? It's just so ridiculous, the entire thing. But he is talking to God occasionally. He doesn't, when they get on the ark, he doesn't say, let's pray. Let's give thanks that we're on the ark. There's nobody that says, oh, my gosh, look at the power of God. Instead, he's like, hey, let me tell you a story, kids. Come around here. The only time he really kind of prays is when he is thinking of killing his whole family. But I'll get into that here in a second. If you're looking for a biblical movie, this is definitely not it. There is no, I don't think, others on the team disagreed with this. This was split. Half of the team said they couldn't take the environmentalism. I don't think it's an environmentalism thing as much as it's just pro-animal and anti-human. And I mean strongly anti-human. But it's not the story of Noah, that I was hoping for. And if you're going for that, you're going to be horribly, horribly disappointed. If you're going for like a kind of a campy, really kind of bad kind of, this is the movie to go see. I mean, if you're looking for something really good, you might not make it past The Rock People, because we nearly didn't. Giant rock people appear at almost the beginning of the movie. They're kind of like the Ents, the tree people in Lord of the Rings, except not as well done, and of course not made of wood, made of rock, and not quite as talkative. I suppose they won't burn as easily as the tree people, but I didn't check on their flammability, and I don't bother checking on the scriptural reference to the rock people. The rock people are really interesting because the rock people, have you ever wondered, hey, how did Noah clear the forest that just sprung up? Well, of course, the rock people that God sent down as spirits, and then they were encased in lava. And then they got up and they were like, we are watchers. We help Adam. We help you now, too. And you're like, real honestly, I felt really bad because as the rock people storyline continued, we've all got giggling fits, and we started to laugh and mock the movie. And I, at one point, looked over and I realized that the executive vice president of Paramount who invited us was standing there observing how we were reacting to it. And I'm like, God, I don't think we're going to get out of here without telling him exactly how we feel, because I think he probably knows at this point. Literally laughing at the rock people. Not that that's a, that's not the biggest problem with Noah. The biggest problem with Noah for me was Noah himself. And maybe it's just me. There's a lot, I'm a little different than some people. I always thought of Noah as more of a nice, gentle guy, prophet of God. Hey, everybody turn your ways or it's going to get really bad. And then I love animals and everybody get onto the ark. And I think of him more like that and less of the homicidal maniac that Paramount found in the Bible somehow or another. More of the, man, I just love people and I love God, and less of him, trying to break down the doors inside the ark to kill his whole family. That is more of the Noah in the Babylonian Chainsaw Massacre. He's running around, I'm not kidding you, trying to kill his whole family. His son, Japheth, gets a call from the authorities at some point, and Mrs. Noah gets a call from somebody who says, have you checked the children lately? And then the phone rings again, and Japheth picks it up. We've traced the call. It's coming from inside the ark. And Shem, don't look in the basement. Ham, there's going to be a sandwich named after you, but that's different from this story, but we might as well throw it in. I mean, it gets that ridiculous. It really does get that ridiculous. There's a lot of respected, spiritual leaders. Some of them are my friends. I don't have any clue as to what they were thinking when they were saying, this is a good movie to go see. It's going to make you curious about the Bible. You might think that maybe the Bible was a comic book. It would have been as plausible if Spidey would have come by and said, I'm just dropping off some snakes here, Noah. Really quite amazing. Kathleen Parker in the Washington Post, she really liked the movie, and here's what she said. I recently viewed the film, and I can confidently report the following. If you liked Braveheart, Gladiator, Star Wars, The Lord of the Rings, Indiana Jones, or Titanic, you'll like Noah. If you like two or more of the above, you'll love Noah. Your enjoyment increases exponentially with each movie checked above, though I should warn that Titanic made the cut for only reason, the major difference between it and Noah being obvious. But Noah also includes the essential love story or two, and without it, no story floats. Kathleen, can I tell you something, honey? I don't know what kind of medication you're on, but I loved all of those movies, And all of us hated Noah. Not like, honestly, we honestly had a conversation. Is it too rude to get up and walk out now? Because we've got other things to do. We could go collect rocks in the parking lot where there's other things we could do.
To build rock people? Or
I was trying to talk nice to him. I was just like, you help Adam and Noah. You take me home. But
no cabs around.
It was like, what was the rock guy from Fantastic Four?
Oh yeah.
Except not that good. It was really like, do you remember the old Sinbad movies?
I don't.
You remember where they had like the giant spider and the giant crab and stuff, and like Sinbad would be like, and you don't remember those? Jeffy, you're old enough to remember those, don't you?
I remember seeing the replays.
Yeah. I mean, they're really just, shut up. It's just those really bad stop action movies. That's what the rock people were almost like.
Because I will say that watching the preview, I've been torn on this movie.
No, I know.
I thought the movie was going to be really good, but just wrong. Nope. So the movie itself is bad?
And the story is bad. The story is bad. It's story. I mean, and look, who was it? Mediaite or somebody said, Glenn Beck is afraid of Noah. No, I'm not afraid of this movie at all. No. It will make money this weekend. It'll probably make a lot of money because it'll be like a car wreck. People will say, I want to see this, and then they'll go see it, and then they will tell their friends, you can't believe how... Have you ever been to a restaurant where you eat something and you're like, this is horrible. Try some. It's like that. Yeah, it's that bad.
Because the trailer will sell people on this movie, I think.
Oh, I know the trailer will.
Good.
And if it was, and may I tell you, if it was a 3.5 minute movie, it would have been fantastic. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes, Ooh. And you want to... Honestly, we were having the conversation, and this way the conversation went. I mean, it's too rude for us to leave, right? I mean, really, Glenn, we've got other things. I mean, you've made your mind up, haven't you? It's too rude to leave. Yes, it is too rude to leave. Wait a minute. Didn't you just say he was watching us laugh and mock this a few minutes ago? How could that be even more rude? That's the conversation. It was horrible. Everybody got onto their iPads about halfway through. Everybody's like, okay, this is ridiculous. When he goes in, Noah goes as a homicidal maniac, and he goes in and he is trying to kill the babies that are born, and he's lines them all up, and they're like, I'm gonna kill you, and then you're gonna bury her, and then you're gonna kill him, and then it's crazy. And the family's like, Dad, I don't think that's right. No, people are evil. And God only wanted animals on the ark. And so we're all going to kill each other. And I'm going to be first. I'm going to kill all of you. And then you're going to kill me. And then we're going to bury people. Once we get down on the ground again, we'll then bury people. And then you're just going to have to kill yourself. And I'm going to trust you on that because, Ham, I've always thought a good sandwich would come from you. But that would be wrong because I don't eat animals. I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy. If you are, I don't care if you believe in the Noah story. I don't believe if you, think it's an allegory. If you believe it's complete fiction, it's entirely up to you. I happen to believe the story of Noah's Ark is true. And after the invitation, we went, and we really wanted to like it. We really did. I said to the guy beforehand, I said, it's like suicide. It's got to be good because it's suicidal to call me and say, hey, come in and see the movie. So it's got to be good. And he's like, no, it really is. Oh, my gosh. Psychiatric time is required for you to either be able to lie to me like that or to actually believe this is good. It's crazy. But we went in with an open mind, and I felt bad because they spent $100 million. This is something that, people have been saying that they want. I really want a good Noah movie. Bill Maher is like, oh, you can't be satisfied? No, I know. No, because this is nothing like a good... Rock people, Bill. Rock people. And people like Bill Maher will say, well, you believe in a sky god. Yeah, but I don't believe in rock people. Okay? I have a hard time with that one. It's not just a biblically bad movie, because it treats a prophet of God like a lunatic. There's no redeeming value in Noah. None. He hates people. I'm sorry. No prophet of God hates people. Hates them. I never see him try to preach and say, turn from your evil ways. Instead, he hides from people because he hates them so much. He tries to kill his own family. I mean, and to me, a prophet receives direct communication from God, and Noah is wrong about everything. At some point, he goes out, and one of the times he does pray, he's praying, please don't make me kill my whole family. And you're thinking, okay, he's gonna realize that he's completely wrong. No. He gets up and he's like, I'll do it. And then he goes and he gets a long knife, and he's putting this knife like ready at the eye of the children, the babies. And his daughter's like, just do it quickly, you monster. Just do it quickly. And he like puts it there, and then he drops the knife, and he says, he looks up to the sky. I can't do that. Like God was telling you to kill your children.
So this is a private request from God to kill his kids.
Yes.
Oh,
and in the end.
Yeah, that was good. Part of the Bible.
In the end, the person who makes all the sense is Hermione from Harry Potter. And I know she was always the smart one at Hogwarts, but in the Ark, I would have liked the prophet of God, Noah, not to have to go to Hermione and say, really? We shouldn't kill the whole family? It's crazy. And if you like the Sinbad movies, you will love Noah.
I mean, you give him a lot of credit for inviting you and saying, go ahead, man, go, tell the truth.
No, I do.
You got to give them a lot of credit. But
it's $100 million disaster. That's what it is. It's $100 million disaster. And they just don't know what to do. I mean, you're not going to hide it. And that's any time that you have to run a disclaimer. And look, these guys are advertisers on our program. And they're running the Noah spots. See it. By the way, a lot of people have said really good things. It said it's not a bad movie, and it's totally cool with God. What? Rock people, pay no attention. I mean, it's crazy. It's really crazy. But they're $100 million into it, and I wish I could have brought different news to you, but I can't. And I appreciate the people at Paramount understanding, because I did talk to him after. It was really uncomfortable 20 minutes afterwards, and he was just, he was in there pitching, and I'm like, I wish I could, but I can't. And I'm sorry. Next time, invite me again. Please invite me again, and hopefully it'll be a good movie. Here's